Hey guys, thanks for watching and for all the support lately. In this video I'm going to be covering my update for the input library, where we can now control up to 4 throttles and another mixer throttle as well, so that's up to 5 potentiometers with just one Arduino. There are still some kinks in the road and I'm still working them out, so bear with me if we improve this product together and perhaps we can just create something awesome with it. If you want the latest news or some behind the scenes looks, you can find my socials in the description below. And if you want to keep updated as be the first one to see the newest videos, you can always subscribe. Okay, so guys, if you're not familiar with using 4 throttles or using the mixture or anything at all, don't be afraid, because I made sure that there are several levels of advancements you can make in the library. So if you're just like me, a normal user, we're going to be looking at a simple approach. Then we have an advanced approach where we can handle several inputs for several throttles. And then we have the super advanced mode where you can just send your data to the library and it will handle the rest. So I'm going to show you first how it works in a Cessna, because we have the mixture and the throttle, just one throttle. And then I'm going to take you to the 747 because it has the 4 throttles. I'm not quite sure if it's a 747. I'm just thinking of the biggest plane in my mind, and I hope that's the one. So please enjoy. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so what have I been doing lately? Well, I've been improving our Arduino library. So what we need to actually use this properly is to go to bitsandroids.com/downloads. You will find the library version 0.3.0, which will be uploaded while I upload this video. So this is just showing the wrong version right now. And we need the Bits and Droids input handler 0.0.2. It will all be online and in the description down below, so you can find it and install it. It will both be zip files. The Arduino library can be added by going to Sketch, Include Library, Add.zip library, and select the zip file you just downloaded. The zip file will come with an example, which can be accessed by going to Examples, Bits and Droids Flight Connector, and then you will find the input example. And you will actually be greeted by this screen. Now we have our connector, like we've used to with the library for our retrieving of data, but now we're going to be using it to send data. It's important to note that serial communication between our Arduino and our computer is usually a one-way street. So if one is talking, the other one can't talk, it can only listen, vice versa. So I would recommend that if you'll be using the input and something to output the data from the game, to use 2 separate Arduinos on 2 separate ports, just to make sure that one of them can always send the data and the other one can always receive the data when needed. So we declared our connector. We said it's a connector. And it's true if it's a Mega or a Uno or something in that family, Nano, and it's false if it's a Pro Micro or Leonardo. This will also be on my website in the link down below with a description for this, on how to use the program, so you can just read up on it if you feel lost already. So what do we need to do? We need to start a serial at 11.5200, and it's important to have this baud rate and not 9600, or else it's not going to be able to communicate with our exe. And then in the loop function, we only have to declare connector dot simple input handling, and then we pass it the pin of our potentiometer and the max value it can read. So in my case, I declared pot pin, so that's my left potentiometer at A0 and the right one at A1. It's important to always use the analog ports on your board. So if you only have 2 analog ports, I don't know if a board has it, but for the sake of science, let's say one does, you can only be able to use 2 instead of 3, etc. So we just say connector, simple input handling, and this is made for if you want to use 1 throttle and 1 potentiometer. So you just pass it 1 pin and the max value. So let's upload that to our board. Now, as we said, enter the COM port to be used. So in our case, it's COM port 6. Just check for yourself what your Arduino is. And then it's going to ask us, do we want the advanced or the simple inputs? Now, in my case, I'm going to be showcasing the simple first. So I'm going to do 0. And right now it's going to start passing data to the game. And you see everything is at 26%. Now, if I turn it up, all of the engines change from position, right? Now, if you would have mixture in the plane, this one doesn't, but I will show you when we upload the other ones. I'm going to be loading into the screen and into the other plane to show you how that works with the advanced mode. But if you want to actually control the mixture, we're going to be using the advanced input handling. So here we only pass one parameter to the simple input handling and the max value. Now, if you go to advanced input handling, you see that we need to pass it a few more parameters. So we have a pin for engine 1, a pin for engine 2, 3, 4, and mixture. And once again, the maxed value. It's important to note that even though you only have one engine, just fill in a pin on these other values just to make sure that our system can actually handle the data, but it won't actually change anything if there's nothing to change, right? The last one is mixture. These are the engines. So in our case, I think I loaded up the wrong plane, didn't I? Yeah. I'm going to be back with you in a second. Let's quickly switch out planes so you can actually see the mixture in working. And then we can come back to this plane to actually see the 4 engines. Okay, here we go. Just to save you some time so you can sit in your own loading screen, I've skipped ahead. Here we see the throttle and we see our mixture. Let me see if I need to close this one. I think I need to upload the code still, right? A0, yeah, okay. Pin 1 is going to be the mixture. Pin 0 is going to be the throttle. And the max value is going to be 1023. So if now we're going to start the COM port, I'm going to say 6. And we want to use the advanced mode right now, because we want to have separate throttle and inputs. And if we turn the right knob, we're able to see, yeah, perfect. And the left one, here we go. Now, it isn't going to be jigger free. It's going to be far from, but it's getting there. I'm still working on smoothing things out. This potentiometer is giving me a lot of issues today. This one is being very stable. So it's also a part of the hardware and how it's wired up and how the connection is, etc. And the power that's running through it. So that's something to look out for in your own board, that you make sure that everything is connected properly. And I'm going to be working on the software side to make sure everything will be fine. Now, one thing, I put in a failsafe to make sure that sometimes when you were at 100, it would drop to 0. Those instances can no longer happen. You only can reach 0 if you actually pass several stages. So that's all taken care of. And this is the advanced mode. So if we would have 4 engines and only 2 potentiometers, we could also say this one will control all 4 engines and this one will just do the mixture. Now, I don't think there is a plane with 4 engines and a mixture control, but that's beside the case. So that's the advanced mode for the Cessna. Quickly going to be loading up the Boeing again, and then we're going to be looking at the super advanced mode and just how you can control 4 engines. Okay, we've loaded up our Boeing 747, and I don't think I got anything. Okay, I still got my 4 engines on one potentiometer right now, and this one is controlling the mixture, but as we know, mixture isn't being handled. You're able to see that once we go to the biggest planes like the 747, there's going to be a bit more jiggle. It's going to be between 1%, so this isn't 20 and 60. It's going to be really just a little bit painful. If we're at 100, it's all fine. But around here, it also depends on the potentiometer, because I have it hooked up to this one. So I'm going to see if I hook it up to the other one, if it's going to be more stable. A1, A1. So in order to upload the code, we need to make sure that the program isn't running because it's constantly sending data and it can't upload to itself if it's sending data. So you need to close the program and just reopen it if you want to experiment around. 6 advanced mode, and if we now go back into the game, you see we can control all 4 by 1 pin. Here we go. So that's working fine. It's a lot more stable than this one. So I really think there's something wrong with this one. So here we go. That's a lot more stable than we're used to. I'm going to show you quickly how you can then use this to your advantage by saying, okay, A0, A0. I'm going to close it again. So we're going to run upload. Six advanced mode, yes. So right now we have this one and we have this one. So you can create all kinds of combinations, or you can just hook up 4 potentiometers for an engine each. And then you don't, I think, yeah, I need to just throw this one out. New ones are coming anyway. So as you might see, that's working independently from each other. Now there's a bit of debouncing already implemented and some delays to make sure everything runs smooth. Now, if you think you can do it better, or you have another plan where you just want to send the data in or whatever, there's also the super advanced mode. That's for the real hardcore simmers out here like you guys. It's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. And it's all going to be percentages. So I also commented above it in the example file. So it's going to take the percentage of the engine 1, 2, 3, 4, and mixture. Now, if you don't want to pass anything, just replace it with a 0. So instead of 80, let's do 0. So if we would just pass it the raw value of the analog read to the engine 1 and the rest at 80%, you have to make sure that if you use the super advanced mode, that you're actually going to include the delays yourself and the debouncing, etc. But the delays is extra important. This one is going to need a quite hefty one actually, because it will be constantly sending data. Normally, actually checking if something changed, then send the data. So in this case, you can see that something is really going on because this one keeps jumping around. So I'm just going to close it for now. So we upload it. And now between every 400 microseconds, it will pass the value of the pin. We just run the program again. 6 and 1. Okay, here we go. See, this can go like a rocket fuel, and these will be at 80%. So that's the super advanced mode. So if you want to use the simplest version, just uncomment this line or add it to your file, connector.simple input handling. If you want to have a more controlled situation with several inputs, including perhaps mixture, go for the advanced input handling. If you want to create your own calculations, etc., go for the super advanced input handling and just pass the percentages yourself. So I hope this will help you guys out by creating more advanced setups. I'm going to be looking at how we can improve the debouncing to make sure that stuff like this gets handled on the software side as well. Because right now it can't jump from 100 to 0, but it can still jump from 80 to 79 constantly. So that needs to be looked at. And that will be coming up in the coming weeks. If you have any questions, suggestions, or you're using it and you think to yourself, geez, Dave, what have you done? This doesn't make sense. Please let me know and I will look into it as soon as possible. So once again, thanks for watching. If you want to keep updated, please just subscribe, leave a like if you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next video.